Feeling way too hot-headed, I got a fever. I came from heaven and made it through hell, now I got ether. Should've believed them, damn, you should've believed them.
She took a dab of that till she had cataracts. Grabbed the rack, she had a MAGA hat.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl, Nikki, bring you the latest and trending topics. So today, let's jump right into it. As you all know, 50 Cent's older son, Marquise Jackson, has been trolling. He has been sitting down with a lot of the vlogs, like Choke No Joke and DJ Academics, complaining about the $6,700 in child support 50 provided when he was growing up. And I don't understand, but I think 50's just kind of getting a taste of his own medicine. He get it from his daddy, you guys. He has been trolling his father. Now, let's clear a couple of things up. Number one, he's not complaining that his father never paid. Marquise is complaining that it was not enough. It's a sense of entitlement here, and 50 called his son out on it, and I wanted to bring it to my naughty crew to see what you guys thought. But I really feel like this is a situation of parental alienation, okay? Because he sounds like when he speaks, he's speaking like his mother. And I wanted to bring some footage to my naughty crew. I have both sides. I have 50's perspective, and then I have his mom's perspective. And if you listen to both of the recordings, Marquise sounds more like he got a lot of information from his mom through the years, and he's doing this based off of what she said and claimed. But my thing is, Marquise, take this off social media and work this out behind the scenes with your father. And get his perspective on what's going on. It's always two sides to the story. His side, her side, three sides. And then there's the truth. All right? So, Naughty Crew, I'm bringing you some footage because now Marquise is starting to backtrack saying, first he was like, oh, I'll pay my father $6,700 for his time. This is spend time. And I just feel like it's his inner child crying out for his dad's attention. He does not know how to go about doing this. All right. But now he's saying like it's not about the money. He just wants to spend time with his father. But he's done so many things on his mom's behalf through the years. I think 50 got tired and said, look, I'm done. Like, I paid my child support. I made sure you was good. And you still out here bashing me in these streets. And I think it's a little jealousy, 50. You know, he's seeing you bring a lot of young men up in the industry with your hit series, Power, and BMF and things like that. And I think he's kind of wanting that attention. I want to say shout out to, excuse me, guys. There's a YouTuber that dropped this footage. I will put it down below in my description box. I believe his name is Will Evans. He did a great job of breaking down the commentary of Marquise's mom, recounting what happened back in the day between her and 50. Drop down into my comments, Naughty Crew. Let me know what you think.
What were the like? How did this happen? Of course, you say you was with him before he was 50 cents, and so you kind of carried the load, right?
Yeah, I worked. He wasn't working. Mm-hmm. He wasn't this big six-figure drug dealer that he was claiming to be. Mm-hmm. And I worked and I took care of us. Like it's just sort of like if you have a wife, if you're going through medical school. And you work until she gets her medical degree and become a doctor. That's exactly how it was.
And so then he made it big, and then he left, or you left.
No, I left him. No, let's get that clear. I left, and that's the thing when people want to say money hungry. I know I'm not a wife, right? So I would get more in being with him. So I left him when he was on the Forbes list.
So why did you leave?
I left him at his height of his career.
Why did you leave?
He was abusive. He's an abusive man. He's abusive, physically and mentally abusive.
Okay.
It's well documented.
So you had to flee from him. All right. And then, did y'all go to court?
Exactly. And first of all, Shorty, I want to say, I'm sorry to hear you going through that. But I have a lot of male friends who are excellent fathers. And I hate to see them go through. If you're a good father, I hate to see you going through the court system. And it's not a fun situation. But we went to court. He took me to court for child support.
Okay, so,
right?
so he was a willing participant. He was trying to be in Mark's life.
He took me to court, right?
Okay.
He initiated court proceedings. This is what the judge had said that he had to pay. So now, the number that I received was partly based on his testimony, excuse me, saying that he was going to provide money for vacation, extracurricular activities, clothing, it's based on lifestyle. I don't know if you know, like the law in New York. Well, I'm sure it's kind of universal in the sense the percentages are the same or different. It's 17% for one, 22% for two. But when a certain tax bracket, it's called lifestyle.
We get that, but so did y'all have a bad life after 50 Cent? Was life bad?
Well, we had a house fire during the court proceedings, and we lost everything. And he got all the insurance money. He was trying to kick us out the house. He got all the insurance money. So we only had left. We lost. Thank God we had our lives, right? We had minor smoke inhalation, but we had our lives. We lost everything. We jumped out of a second-story window. All we had was the pajamas we jumped out of the window with. That's it. And he got all the insurance money.
And so after the fire, during the court proceedings for the custody, how did the judge rule?
With the custody proceedings?
Yes, y'all because y'all was in court, right? You say he took you to court for child support.
Well, the custody is the next thing. He gave up all his rights. He signed up all his rights.
Hold on. So y'all went to court in 2007?
Yes. 2008.
And when y'all went to court in 2007, 2008, he was asking to be put on child support, right?
Right.
And he was asking to relinquish all rights. He didn't want to see your son.
No. He gave me primary custody, as in if I decide what school Marquise all important.
Okay, because you were the custodial parent, but what was his arrangements for visitation?
He had every other weekend, every other holiday. If he wanted to see Marquise out of the scope, he has to give me a certain notice 2 days out the week. Not 2 days, but 2 days in advance just to let me know so we could, make provisions.
And how did that work out?
I left, which was in my agreement. I wasn't even supposed to move out of the state without notifying. I left and moved to Atlanta and was there for over a year, and he didn't know because he didn't keep up with his visitation rights.
No. So you left. Hold on. So after the judge put this order in place, you left against the order and moved to Atlanta with the child. That's what you're saying.
Well, she's actually saying that he wasn't doing
No.
order
We talk
stated.
about we talk about law now. We in the court.
Hold on, let her answer.
Go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry.
He wasn't keeping up with the order. I couldn't have left. He wasn't keeping up with his visitation. He didn't see Marquise for over a year. Over a year. He didn't. I didn't restrict Marquise. I didn't restrict him.
So he never called. He never called and tried to see him.
Say it again.
He never called and tried to see him. He done went to court. He took himself to court.
Yeah.
You cannot answer a question and not
She said you don't want to
answer.
Go ahead.
Year, he did not call or see his child in over a year.
And the last time did you talk to him before he went? After he done went to court, right, and fought for visitation and fought for child support.
He didn't fight for visitation. That was just the next order.
Okay, it was part of the legitimation or whatever. Okay, so check this. Okay, so then when y'all left court, he didn't call you or nothing. He just made the payment.
He was upset because after the fire, my fire was deemed suspicious. It was deemed arson.
Right.
So I know where it came from. So we had gotten to a fight prior that week. So I had with the domestic dispute that's always been. So I had to order a protection on him. So we couldn't. I didn't feel safe. We had to meet. We had point people, and we had to meet at the precinct for us to exchange Marquise.
Okay.
And he did not. He did it the first couple times while we in court. This is a PR stunt. And then after that, he, no calls, no contact. He didn't keep up with his.
And so you never took the child away from him. You never even though y'all got in a fight.
By law, I couldn't. If he wanted to drag me back into court for that, he would have. We don't talk about the average person who doesn't have the money.
When you I mean, it's a fire. You said it was a fight right after the fight. Y'all got in a fight.
Before the fight.
There was a fight. There was a fight, and then there was a fight, and then y'all went to court. And you sued him for $50 million. When was this?
When I sued, okay, we jumped from topic to topic. So, okay, I'm going to stick with this one after we finish. When I moved to Georgia, when he did call Marquise, I would go beyond the scope of visitation. And when he called me, he would give me at least 2 days. He would call me, I'm here. Once he found out I was there, no problem. Where do you want me to meet you at the drop Marquise store? I've never withheld my contact.
Yeah, so when he came to Atlanta, he did reach out to you to get and see Marquise.
He reached out to, he called. He didn't have my number. So I wouldn't allow. He wanted the court to have my number. I said no. He can have Marquise's number. We communicate through that. So
there was a communication barrier between you guys. All of this plays into the child being readily available and it being because
readily available to the point where I'm going beyond the scope of the the custody agreement. He's supposed to give me notice that he wants to see Marquise. I said no problem. If he calls me the same day, I'm here and I'm in Georgia. I'm in Atlanta. I want to see him. I would readily make Marquise available. Where do you want me to meet you at? And I will meet you.
So there you have it, Naughty Crew. That is 50 Cent's baby's mom account of things. And as you can see, certain things just don't add up. Like I said, she doesn't admit to him not paying. He paid his child support. It looks to me that she put more distance in between him and Marquise when she moved to Atlanta and things like that. I don't like the abuse allegation charges she kind of threw out there, because you could say what you want. Unless I see the proof, I don't believe it. And 50 has a reputation of trolling different people like Little Kim and Tiara Marie and things like that, but you never heard of him laying his hands on a woman. Like, that, I think, is just far-fetched. And I feel like a lot of women use that card when they're trying to gain complete control and custody of the child, which are symptoms of parental alienation. And also notice, like, a lot of questions he asked her direct, she just kind of sidestepped them. So I found that kind of suspect. And this is why I say, Naughty Crew, I feel like Marquise is coming from a perspective from which he heard only his mom's narrative. And I really feel like he needs to sit down with 50 and hear his side of things, okay? But the way he's going about it is all wrong. Now you want to sit down. Now it's not about the money, and it's too late. And I say humble yourself and go to your father and apologize with humility and respect, and hopefully that'll be a start from there. Up next, we have 50's side of things. You know, here at the Naughty Crew, I love to give both sides of things. So here we go.
From the outside, I think that situation is sad, man. The child can't come.
Yeah, it is sad. It's a sad situation, right? And when you pray for success, you don't necessarily pray for the things that come with it, right? And there's no such thing as success without jealousy, without envy, or entitlement. And entitlement is growing in someone you love, in the scariest part, right? And his mom developed an entitlement that cannot be met, filtering that energy through his actual personal interests. Let's say now that he's starting to like females, he's conscious of what kind of shoes he want to wear. I need these Jordans, the retro Jordans is coming, different things. And then his mother go, all right, I'll get them for you, but it just bothers me because you're supposed to have them all. So while being a privileged child, he feels deprived. When you had everything I didn't have. I can tell you how much my kids cost. In New York State, 1.360. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have an issue with paying the support fund. The reason why I'm the way I am with those kind of situations, I pay my support that year that the baby's born. Move the money to the account, let it, and it automatically disperses a certain amount of money per each month. So with him, I noticed over the years like it developed because I blamed it on his mom for a long time, but it's not his mother, it's him. Like I've gone places where he was at, he left.
Fifth, you love yourself?
I used to. You ask yourself how long. A complicated question would say, "How long can you love something that don't love you back?" You see, so in this experience, you look and you say, I didn't think success would cost me my firstborn, but it's the situation. It's like my grandfather would say, "It rattled like a snake. If it slithered like a snake, is it a snake or do you need to be bit?" Right? And that's the Aiken, South Carolina, and this the country, she'll say. And what he keeps saying is, every time you see the boy, he's show up with somebody you got a problem with. What does that day? People will always try to make relationships on a common bond of disliking someone. Like, be friends with you because your enemy is my enemy.
Yeah.
And he sees himself that way. To the extent where he's actually taking pictures with Preem's son or doing different things. And you go, well, I'm like, I don't even understand where your motivation comes from with these things. But
can you excuse any of that because of how young he is?
No, he's 23 years old, 24 years old. It's not a baby no more. It's a grown man. See, I look at you as you grown, the decisions that you make as you start to pass what they would have did to us. They would have charged me like an adult at 15. So at 23, it's like you grown in my head. My homeboys, they had their babies at 15. At that point in the neighborhood, that was when you actually got into, we started the sexual thing. You know what I'm saying? It started to really get into it, and everybody 15, 16 years old was the point that he was having kids. So like I was super late with him because I didn't want to have, something that I didn't actually connect with because we both was babies. At that point. And then later, all these things don't turn out the way you want it. Life just doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And
what would have to happen for you guys to have a relationship again? That's the last question I'll ask about it.
I don't know. I ran into him one time. This is ill, right? Right after, it was 2 months before his support was finished. Right? And at the time, he's standing at the desk talking to the jeweler, and he had a small diamond chain, 2 small diamond chains, trying to get a bigger diamond chain, right? Trading them, see how much can you get that one. And I walked in, he goes, "Oh, you have somebody like watching me?" I said, "Nah." He said, "Oh, so coincidence?" He said, "Yeah, coincidence." Then he turned back to the jeweler, he goes back to talking to the jeweler, and he's like, nah, I can't do that. Now I'm like, because of how much the jeweler's asking him for. Saying you can't do it. Booth. Negotiating, putting 2 small diamond chains back to get a bigger diamond chain with the money I'm mailing it. His mother never had a job. She didn't do nothing. I would have questioned whether I was wrong if she did something after the fact. She genuinely did not want to do nothing. This girl looked me in my face and told me, like, she was like, "You bought Mike Tyson's house?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "So why you ain't tell me this?" I said, "Because you ain't moving there." Well, I would have had to leave them in Mike Tyson's house. Like Mike left his old lady in him there when I got it. You see what I'm saying? So, because they would have said he's accustomed to this lifestyle and this is what he would have, it would have changed the whole scenario. So, when I said, "Nah, you got to go, you're going to get a place over here," I gave her the same money that I gave my grandmother to buy my grandmother's house, for her to pick out a house and buy her house. And you go there until you figure out what you want to do. You don't want to do nothing. You're not coming with me stand like that. She was like, "You did it already. Don't nobody work if they don't have to work. You already did it." Feeling like the records you already sold. If I was thinking like that, that's who I was. Yeah. They've been over.
Damn.
Because if you think about it, a lot of people, like when in the book I say when you hustle, right? When you're a hustler, you adapt a mentality, you live by those ways, right? If you get experience a setback, it's okay. It's always, the setback is for the get back. It's for, for you to feel that low, the way you feel when something goes bad. Damn, it's for how it feels when it's going right, right? So you can actually feel that, experience that joy at that point, and then you could be getting money. Police sweep, but you got 3 people busted at one time. Got bail over.
So there you have it, Naughty Crew. 50 Cent's side of things, okay? I feel like he really tried to be a stand-up man in the situation. There's only but so much one person can take. And I think at the base of this is greed, okay? And let me tell you why. I know 50's words may be harsh, but it's real. And the fact that Marquise had his mom in his ear all these years, he kind of took on some of those traits. And I think a lot of the antics he's been pulling, especially like with posing with Supreme's son and everything, it is this a cry out for attention. And because he did not have his father there to teach him man etiquette, so to speak, and how to be the man, because he was alienated for his father due to his mother's antics, okay? Let's hold her accountable for her role in this. He is doing different things to just cry out for attention. I just simply think this is him saying, Dad, I need you. I want you in my life. And he just really does not know how to go about doing that. Now, different celebrities have been speaking out. Little Meech spoke out. I don't really think what he said was relevant. I'll post it up on the screen, Naughty Crew, just so we could kind of bring this full circle. But 50, he has clapped back. He has clapped back stronger than ever, after his son's response. I just hope he can find it in his heart to try to forgive his son and understand where he came from and recognize where he's underdeveloped as a man and use this as a segue to start a new beginning. Drop down into my comments, Naughty Crew. Let me know what you think about this.
I had to rebuild my life over $6,700 a month.
Marquise, I know you feel like
this is crazy. You're 25 years old. Why are you still talking about child support? I still $5,000 a year when it was with me. That's why I took his mother to child support, because the thought that she was supposed to get that much more, she wanted more.
Look, I don't never ask for shit, man. But I was thinking, can a little extra $6,700 a month for what we've been doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna start on fire up in
there. Please remember to hit that like, subscribe, and that bell button. Until next time, Naughty Crew, I'm out. One.
And I wanna say thank you in case I don't thank you enough.